Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2 months ago, this subcommittee held a hearing, and we listened to the EPA and the stakeholders regarding our fly ash legislation. At that hearing, the EPA indicated that they would not oppose the draft legislation. Since that time, we've held additional meetings and discussions with the EPA, the Senate, and all the other stakeholders around the country to further strengthen the legislation. The bill was improved, and on Monday it was introduced with 10 Democrats and 35 total original co-sponsors. Let me show you what we're talking about here. This is fly ash. Every year across America, we generate about 140 million tons of this material. It's produced in 48 of the 50 states that create electricity using coal. And you add the other states that use it for generating power in their manufacturing facilities. But it's created all across America. 40% of it is currently being recycled. But the other 60% is going to landfills and other uses. Now, given that there is a growing consensus about the beneficial reuse of the 40% portion that is recycled, the issue remaining is how to handle and dispose of the remaining 60%. Thanks to the negotiations held with the states and the stakeholders, we've done a thorough job of addressing the issues under this legislation. So the bill before us is a common sense solution. Recyclers can continue with the beneficial reuse of fly ash. For the first time, there will be a national minimum standard for disposal all across the country. States will have primacy, but the EPA can step in if necessary. It also will protect 316,000 jobs across America. It will prevent the cost of electricity from going up, and it'll provide consistency in the regulatory process and eliminate the stigma associated within the recycling industry. Not very often you have recyclers, labor unions, utility companies, coal operators, and the environmental officials all in favor of the same piece of legislation. Without this legislation, the status quo will prevail, and ash will continue to be disposed based on standards from the 1950s and the 60s in some cases. The stigma posed by the environmental movement will continue. Common sense must prevail on this issue. Working in a bipartisan fashion, we've made progress. After 32 years of debate, it's time for action. We passed bipartisan legislation on this issue 4 times in the last Congress. Our constituents deserve this protection for their health and the environment. This legislation makes that possible. Thank you, and I yield back my time.